Yes, I'm back. And we got another spawn of Satan himself. This time, and this man happened to live in South Carolina. I believe he resided in Charleston, if I'm not mistaken. It's another man. He was accused of well, not accused. They love to say accused when it's white people. He was arrested for planning on attacking black churches in the wake and spirit of Dylann Roof. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
Arrested a Conway man who they plotted an attack in the spirit of Dylann Roof.
Yeah, the feds arrested 29-year-old Benjamin McDowell in Myrtle Beach. They say he talked to an undercover FBI agent about a possible attack and purchased a gun from him as well.
Now, as a result of that purchase, McDowell faces a weapons charge because he is a convicted felon. Taylor Herlong spoke at length with McDowell's mother today, who said that she had no idea what was going on.
He didn't say, Mama, I want to go do it or nothing like that. You know, I raised him better than that.
No, you didn't, bitch.
And, me and my ex-husband had him at church every Sunday.
Benjamin McDowell lived with his mom, Joanne, in Conway.
I started having problems with him when he was about 15 or 16.
Joanne didn't want to go into detail about his problems, but she got a surprise when the FBI showed up to her house yesterday.
When the laws come up on my porch like that, I opened the door and I said, honey, what is going on? What have I done? And he said, ma'am, we have to search your house. We have a search warrant. And I said, but what is wrong? Why are you searching my house? And he told me that it was concerning my son, Benjamin.
The FBI says he had just bought a gun from an undercover detective. They'd been investigating Benjamin since at least the beginning of January, after an alert from the Horry County Police Department. Officers believed he had connected with a white supremacist group while in prison. Court documents describe his Facebook posts. One mentions the Temple Emmanuel Synagogue in Myrtle Beach. Although documents indicate he had planned to attack somewhere outside the county, and he hadn't decided on where or when. He ranted about the Jewish people in another post. His mom says they had talked about Jewish people before.
He said that those people and the Pakistanis, I think he said, are against us. He said, and he was telling me stuff out the Bible about different things. And I said, Benji, I don't understand all that stuff.
Another post talked about Dylann Roof. It said, do something on a big scale and write on the building or whatever in the spirit of Dylann Roof.
He just said that, that boy was brave and he made headlines, as a white boy. And he said, but he was wrong, to go in the church and shoot up like he did. And he said, he stood up for the white people.
The undercover agent said Benjamin said he wanted to find a way to pull off an attack on non-whites without getting caught. Joanne says her son left the house yesterday morning and he said he was moving. Now she worries he'll never come back home.
I feel like he done wrong, but I paid for it. And that don't seem to be fair. That's all I know to say. But if I have to go through this for him to get help and me love him and stand by him, that's all I can do.
Well, that was Taylor Herlong reporting. McDowell remains in custody tonight and will be in a federal court on Tuesday for a hearing in Florence.
Now, my question is, you already know what I'm about to say. Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, where the fuck y'all at? Why wasn't this national news? Because this was a threat not just to black people, white people as well. Because I guarantee if there was white people who weren't on code with him, he would have killed them too if he got the chance. But you see, they don't care about shit like this as long as the suspect is white, especially if he is a white supremacist. They attack and coddle these white supremacists because, why? We live in a global system of white supremacy, a new Nazi regime. And I told y'all this was going to happen when I covered Dylann Roof in custody, admitting that he was a white supremacist and he had to do what he had to do. I told y'all he made himself a Jesus to other white supremacists, and they were going to look up to him and respond and try to reenact what he did, and most likely they're going to do it way bigger than Dylann Roof. I told y'all this was going to happen. And this crazy cracker was trying to attack everybody, not just non-black people. He was going to attack Jews, people of Muslim faith, all types of people he was planning on attacking. FBI knew about it. They've been watching him for a while. He was in and out of jail. He's a convicted felon. He linked up with white supremacist groups in prison. That's probably where he got most of his ideology, his evil, demonic, demented, recessive gene ideology from. And I forgot to mention this in that video I did on the myth of the coalition with blacks and Hispanics. Because truth be told, a lot of these Hispanics, when they go to prison, they link up with these Aryans, these hardcore white extremist groups, and they protect each other, and they attack black people in prison as well. So that's why we gotta let them hold their own nuts. Fuck the Hispanics, except for the black Latinos, the heavy melanated Hispanics. Shout out to y'all, but you white Hispanics, fuck y'all. I digress. But yeah, this should have been national news, but instead of this being national, we want to talk about Trump and the media lying on Trump, and they're not lying on him. They're for once telling the truth. Worried about Chicago, that coon pass. We gotta get that body count down in Chicago. Eyes bucking and shit. We worried about that. And what's interesting about, since I brought up Trump, what's interesting about that? He said he's using dangerous rhetoric once again. He said the news is public enemy number one. You're an enemy to all civilians. That's dangerous rhetoric, because now they're gonna start censoring the news. Because if the media is not on code with Trump and his white supremacists, something's gonna happen to them. They're gonna get dealt with, just like in the late 1800s, when the white supremacists went to war with the black Seminole Indians. They like to say the Seminoles weren't black. They were black. That's why they named Florida State the Seminoles. And everybody who's on that team is a black, husky, strong back Negro. Because that's what the Seminoles were. Black Indians who fought for their freedom. Because Florida at the time wasn't a part of the United States. It was its own little country. And a lot of Indians and free and escaped slaves would go out there because that was their safe haven. Then the white supremacists found out and said, whoa, 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 can't allow that shit. This is a system of white supremacy. If you black, you working for massa. So they went over there and went to war with the Indians and eventually killed them off. And they told the media, because we always been in a neo-Nazi regime, you can't report this. And if we find out any of y'all reporting that we're doing this to these Negroes, something's gonna happen to you. Maybe worse than what's happening to the Negroes. So Trump, this is dangerous, man. That's why he's getting good with Russia, because they're gonna start employing these Russian malicious groups to America when this shit goes down. Because white people ain't gonna do that. Because white people getting fed up with white supremacy because it's affecting them now. So they're gonna employ these Russian, just like Hitler did, get these Russians over here. So when the Negroes and the white people who are not on code with white supremacy get out of hand, Russians go handle them. They got all these secret militia groups. Blackwater. That's why that bitch got in the position of the Board of Education. Somebody in the comments mention her name if you watching this video. I forget her name. Who's that ain't shit bitch who they put the head of education? Her brother started that Blackwater secret mercenary militia group and changed the name to Academy. Because that's what the white supremacists do. They refine their codes, refine their names when they get a little too hot. Just like with the alt-right shit. Nothing, just different levels of white supremacy. Her brother, looked that up. He founded that Blackwater militia group. See, Trump, people think Trump's stupid. He's illiterate when it comes to politics, but he's very smart at practicing white supremacy. It's dangerous, man. I told y'all. That cabinet is full of hardcore white supremacists. And Trump ain't gonna last 3 years. 4 years, I mean. But the fucked up part, if he gets impeached, Pence, the vice president who will become the president if Trump gets impeached, he's a hardcore white supremacist. This is just gonna keep getting worse. So I said we need to get on code as melanoid people, get our economic game popping, get a passport, and practice your Second Amendment and your human right and bear arms. Because when the shit goes down, man, these other groups are gonna get it first. That's gonna be easy for white supremacists. But us melanoid people of African descent, we're the grand finale. They really gonna go hard at us. We got a little time to pass by. Just a little bit of time. We definitely got to get right psychologically, physically, spiritually, and militarily. We got to get right. These crackers is coming, man. Let me know what y'all think about this story. The link's gonna be in the description. Get in the comments, like, subscribe, share the video.